I truly appreciate your help, Wendy. It's nice to see you in person after such a long time.
Yeah, sure. No need for the sentimental excuses. I'm well aware of your intentions.
Wait, what?
Anyway, let's move on. So, you're really going to marry my brother?
Yes, I am.
Ugh, I knew it. I had a feeling you were being serious. TBH, I'd suggest you break up with him.
What? Why would I do that?
You two are such an odd match. Frankly, it's embarrassing to see you together.
What do you mean we're not compatible?
You're just so different, and I doubt he even likes you that much. My brother is quite attractive and tall. Many women are interested in him. Meanwhile, well, let's say you're not as young as you used to be.
Wendy, you shouldn't say things like that.
His ex-girlfriend was stunning, everyone adored her. I can't understand why he left her for someone who might as well wear a mask in public to hide her face. There must be something wrong with him.
Oh, if that's how you feel, there's not much I can do. But I love Richard deeply.
I know, and it's unsettling. He's such a catch, and he's financially well off, everyone loves him. I'm proud of how he's turned out. If I weren't his sister, I'd probably be attracted to him too. But I wanted his wife to be equally impressive. How can I be proud of someone like you?
Am I not good enough for you? Am I doing something wrong? I don't want to upset you.
Yes, you're definitely falling short. You're not doing anything right, and it's not something that can be fixed. Take a look at yourself in the mirror. You could at least be pretty if you're going to be my sister. But there's nothing remotely attractive about you.
I see. There's more to a person than their appearance, you know? The old saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. You might not like how I look, but it shouldn't prevent us from getting along.
Oh my gosh. You're resorting to that tired old phrase? Sorry, but your personality is just as unimpressive as your appearance.
We haven't had a real conversation yet. You can't determine how I'll behave based on my looks. There's more to me than meets the eye.
I don't think so. Being good-looking is one of the most crucial things to be likable. If you're unattractive on the outside, you're probably unattractive on the inside too. You should be more like me. I'm so pretty that magazines and modeling agencies have contacted me before.
Oh, really? That's impressive.
Isn't it? Although, I ended up declining their offers. I'm not ready for a job, I'd rather hang out with my friends. Plus, the beauty industry can be stressful.
That's true. You should enjoy your youth while you can. But regardless, looks shouldn't be the basis for judging one another. We're going to be sisters, after all. We should assess each other based on our personalities and kindness, not our appearance. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Personality? It's written all over your face. I can discern who you are with a single glance. What more is there to know?
Very well. I'll do my best to get along with you.
Ew. No. There's no need for that. It won't change anything. Wow, I never expected that to happen. It was quite surprising.
Oh, really? What was surprising? I sensed your mother was displeased. She made some comments as well. It didn't feel positive. If anything, it seemed disastrous.
Well, she doesn't really want you in our family. It's your responsibility.
Richard and I aren't even married yet. Why is she so upset? I should be considered a guest, right? But she kept instructing me instead. Shouldn't she offer me coffee instead of asking me to fetch hers? She even had me do some cleaning. Do you think it's a bit impolite?
No, I don't think so. It's typical, you're being dramatic. Even Richard didn't step in, that should tell you something.
Well, I don't believe anyone needs to defend me. But imagine if my family treated your brother like that. Wouldn't you stand up for him?
You mean if you were bossing my brother around? Yes, you'd need to stop. But that wouldn't happen anyway.
Why is that?
How can I put it gently? Richard isn't the type to get involved in your family. And he wouldn't take orders from anyone.
So why should I have to do those things?
He's the man in the relationship. You married into our family, not the other way around. He decides. If you want to marry Richard, you'll have to adapt. Otherwise, my mom will never like you. Well, she might not anyway. But if you listen, your chances improve.
So I'm just supposed to do everything you ask?
Yes. If my mom asks, you do it. It's your role as his wife.
I see. It felt like she disliked me from the start. I felt used, honestly. Is that really a wife's role? It seems a bit old-fashioned, doesn't it? Marriage should be equal, not one person telling the other what to do.
Well, if you dislike it, you can leave. Just don't marry him. If you call off the wedding, Richard would probably end it. He doesn't like humiliation.
No, we're not breaking up. I'll marry him, that's final.
If that's your choice, I can't stop you. I don't really care either way. Also, you remember when you talked about your personality being more important than looks? It was a joke.
Why bring that up again?
I was right, your personality matches your looks. You struggled all day. You expected us to bend over backward and treat you like royalty. You didn't do anything without my mother's orders. You didn't even wash the dishes until she mentioned it. And you did a poor job anyway. You looked unhappy the whole time. Don't be so dramatic. Haven't you worked before?
I was a guest. It's not rude to assume when you visit someone's house.
You're arrogant. Everyone at home is upset because of your behavior. Whatever. There's no way they'll let you marry now. What's said at weddings again? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I object.
What? But they seemed fine with me earlier. They said they were excited about the wedding.
They were just being polite. You should have realized they were pretending. The three of us don't want this marriage.
But
Please, don't tell Richard right now. He might get angry, and I'd be upset if he cut ties. Imagine him picking you over us. No thanks. I don't want him to disinvite me to the wedding. I want it to be perfect. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I object.
what? Please, don't do that, it's humiliating. I don't want to leave Richard.
Well, you can break up with him before the wedding. I'll give you a week to decide. Break up with him or we'll object at the wedding. Heya, it's been exactly 1 week. Have you told Richard yet?
Well, about that.
You didn't, did you? I asked my brother a few days ago. And he didn't say anything, so I assumed you hadn't.
What?
I just asked him how you were doing recently. He said you both were doing fine. I wonder why he thinks that. Is there a reason you haven't said anything to him yet? Don't leave it to the last minute, or you know what happens.
You're right, I haven't told him yet. And I won't because we are not breaking up.
Do you need me to spell it out for you? If everyone at the wedding is telling him not to, he won't. He's been with us a lot longer. Why would he choose you? He loves us more anyway. If we object, then he won't do it.
I know you guys are family. But that doesn't mean he's just going to side with you on everything. He's still his own person, after all. He's capable of making his own decisions. And even if you have a disagreement, he's not going to leave you or me. He should be able to do what makes him happy.
Oh, and you think you can make him happy? He'd be better off completely alone than with you.
Why are you acting like this?
Because it just won't work out. If you can't even get along with his family, how are you going to get along with him? There's no room for you in our family.
I know you guys aren't exactly fond of me. But why does that mean I have to leave? Me and Richard get along really well. I don't think we've ever even had an argument.
You expect me to believe that? He's just being nice because he loves you. For now, at least. Once you're living together, he'll get sick of you soon enough. And the fighting will start. I'd give him a week at most before you're out of the house.
That's not true. Please don't say stuff like that about Richard.
Why not? It's true, isn't it? I'm only asking you to leave for Richard. If you really love him, you'd understand he'd be better off without you. And then you'd leave him.
Why are you doing this? No. You're not doing this for Richard. You're doing this for yourself.
Huh? What are you talking about?
You can throw out all the excuses you want. You only want me out of the picture so Richard doesn't leave you guys, right?
Don't be ridiculous. I wouldn't do all of this for something stupid like that.
Richard already told me about you guys. You guys have always had money problems, right? He said you always spent way more than you earned.
He's making things up. That's not true at all. We only bought what was needed. We were low on money, but not because we were spending too much. We just didn't make a lot.
Really? That's not what Richard told me. He said every month you'd go out and buy expensive clothing and makeup. Your dad would buy high-end wine, and your mom would party. You never had a dollar put into savings between the three of you. Was that included in the stuff you bought because it was needed?
Well, I guess it wasn't exactly necessary. But, like, I do great at school. And mom and dad are always working hard. It's not wrong for us to want to treat ourselves every now and then.
Treating yourself is fine, but doing it that often doesn't count as a treat. At that point, it's a habit. It seems like you would spend money every day, no matter how low you were.
Okay? And what about it? It's our money, we can use it how we like. Why is that any of your business?
It's not really, but we are going to be family soon, so of course I want to help. Besides, you guys were relying on Richard, right? He helped the three of you a lot financially.
Well, sort of. Yeah.
He told me every month he gave each of you about $400, right? That's $1,200 in total every month. I really don't understand why he needs to do that much. I understand for food and bills, but you don't pay any of that. But I also know you're his little sister. And he probably wants to spoil you. But giving your parents an allowance too is really weird, don't you think? I've never heard of that before.
It's not my fault. That's just how things turned out. I don't have a job, and my dad's job doesn't pay well. My mom's only working part-time. How can we make enough money from that?
That's what I'm talking about, though. You're mostly relying on the money Richard gives you, right? I don't think it's fair for him to support all of you.
I don't care. Mind your own business. My family is different. Everyone has different circumstances. You can't decide what I should be doing. Stop trying to get involved in my business. Just keep your nose out. It's not important.
Isn't it? It's the reason you don't want Richard to leave. You're just as bad in meddling with other people's affairs, don't you think? You immediately decided for me that I wasn't allowed to be with Richard and that I needed to work more. Now that we're going to be family, I feel like it's my business.
No, you guys aren't going to get married. We're never going to be a family. I won't let that happen. We're practically strangers, so it's none of your business.
You don't get to decide that, though. You don't get to decide. I know you and your parents don't want this, but it's not your decision to make. Didn't you just say you can't make choices for other people's lives?
Well, you're doing the same thing to me, so what's the difference?
I'm not telling you to do anything. I was just bringing it up. Richard told me his own opinions about it. So if anything, you should be convincing him.
He doesn't think that. And if he does, then you lied and tricked him into believing it. You basically brainwashed him. Just let him go so he can stay here.
How exactly do you think I could brainwash him? I don't think that's even possible outside of books.
You can probably find stuff like that on YouTube. I wouldn't be surprised if you looked it up and used it on him. You don't want to lose him, and you know you've got nothing to offer. So you had to find a better way to hold on to him, right? That was the only way you could keep my brother and his money. So you researched everything online and brainwashed him completely.
You're really taking this whole brainwashing thing too far. Let's not turn this into some huge conspiracy, please. I'm not doing anything like that, so let's just focus on the main topic.
Ugh. I can't take it. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm getting annoyed. I'm just gonna have to get this over with. I'll show you.
Get what over with?
I'm gonna talk to Richard. I'll tell him everything. I'll tell him a little bit of your bad stuff, your stupid stuff. By the end of it, he'll hate your guts. And then he'll have no choice but to leave you.
What do you plan on telling him exactly?
What should I tell him? There's a lot of things I could say. It's hard to pick one. Oh, I have an idea. I can remind him of when his old girlfriend cheated on him in college. My brother hates cheaters. He wouldn't give her a second chance.
Oh, yeah, I remember him saying something about that. What does that have to do with me, though?
Can you not figure it out? You're even dumber than I thought. It'll upset him, unfortunately. But I'll just tell him that it's happened again. First his girlfriend, now his new fiancée has cheated on him. You won't get a second chance, he'll leave you immediately.
He's not going to just accept that blindly. He's going to figure out that's a lie pretty easily, don't you think? You don't have any proof, so how exactly are you going to convince him? You don't think he's going to ask me or anything?
Oh, I don't have evidence. Yet. It's not too hard to come up with some, though. Men are all pretty stupid, so they're easy to trick. All it takes is a little bit of Photoshop. And I'll have some evidence I took with my phone to show him.
I don't think that would end well for you, Wendy. He might get upset if he finds out what you're doing behind his back. And why are you trying to fight dirty, anyway? I'm not fighting you, I'd rather we just get over this and get along.
You can think whatever you want. Sure, he'd be upset if he found out, but how could he? It'll be fine. He'll believe me, and he'll drop you before you even have a chance to defend yourself. It's the perfect plan. I'm honestly really excited. I want to be there when the drama happens. Excuse me, Jennifer. What's this I heard about you wanting to revoke my job offer? Bringing it up at our party was really awkward. What's going on?
Did I say that? Oh, actually, I remember now. You told me you graduated from university, right? And that you finally got hired by some big high-paying company. So I said in that case I could rescind the job offer, right? If you continue treating me like this, I mean.
What do you mean? You don't have the authority to do that. Only the company president can terminate my employment. And he won't listen to someone like you.
Actually, he would. The reason you got hired was because of my recommendation. I informed HR that you should be hired. It wasn't too hard since I am the company president.
What? No way, you're lying. Why would anyone hire you? You're not qualified to run a company. Besides, the person who interviewed me was a man. So I'm pretty sure you weren't involved in my hiring. Nice try, though.
Yeah, I don't usually interview people personally. That's like the whole point of having an HR department. I let them handle the hiring for me. Did you not realize? I'm pretty sure my HR team don't introduce themselves as the president of the company. Or anything like that.
I don't recall if he introduced himself.
If you doubt me, you can check online. I assure you, there's a photo of me on the website in the About Us section. It clearly states my job title.
It's there, really. What? I can't believe it. Your name and picture are there, but did you edit it or something? Maybe it's the wrong picture.
Did you apply to a company without doing any research? The hiring process takes a while. How did you not find out who your superiors would be?
This still doesn't make sense. How is this possible? How are you qualified to run a big company like this? You couldn't even clean properly when you visited.
I don't have a definitive answer for that. I worked hard and gave my best. I really wanted this, and my efforts paid off in the end.
But you didn't even go to college.
You don't need a college degree to start a business. It's not a requirement. Even someone without a high school diploma could start one if they were determined. All you need is to register the company and pay your taxes. The rest is relatively straightforward. In fact, many successful companies, like Microsoft, were founded by college and high school dropouts.
Really? I had no idea. I thought you needed special qualifications for that.
Many people share that misconception, but in reality, you don't need professional education. You could start your own business too. Now that we've clarified all this, I'm glad our dispute can finally be put to rest. I was worried about your attempts to harm Richard and me.
Which argument are you talking about?
Have you forgotten already? The one where you tried to get Richard to leave me, remember? You planned to lie and accuse me of cheating on him. You even mentioned photoshopping pictures. If that's not dirty play, I don't know what is. You said you were going to tell him the other day, right? We wouldn't be having this family gathering if he believed you. He probably wouldn't have come home either. I had a feeling you didn't succeed.
Well, yeah. I did tell him, but he didn't believe me. I sent him a few pictures I edited, but he could tell they were fake.
He showed me the pictures. I'm sorry, but they were a bit comical. The proportions were way off, anyone could tell they weren't real. And the lighting was different. If you want them to be more convincing, you'll need more practice with Photoshop. As they are now, they're not convincing at all. You sent the picture and just told him that I was cheating on him with one of his colleagues, right?
Well, yeah, I sorta did that.
We were together when you sent that. He burst out in laughter as soon as he saw the picture. He nearly choked on his drink. So he just messaged and ignored your texts after that, right? He doesn't even have any male coworkers as far as I know. So there wasn't a chance I could be cheating in the first place.
If I was able to talk to him, he'd understand. It's just I didn't get time to talk to him alone. Because of the meetup and everything. He would have believed me if I had more time. And if you didn't brainwash him so badly.
Well, I did tell him my side of the story, of course. He thought a lot about it, I think. And I thought a lot about everything that he told me, too.
Wait, what else did you tell him? Does he know about your company? Wait, he won't let you fire me, would he? I didn't know you were the president when I sent that, honestly. If I knew how great you were, I wouldn't have done any of that stuff. So can we put this aside for now? Please don't make me lose my job.
Sorry, but it's too late for that.
But you can't just fire me like that, can you? Don't you need a reason to do something like that? It's unprofessional to get rid of employees for personal reasons.
It's not really for personal reasons, though. We just don't really need you in our company.
What are you talking about?
I chatted with my employees earlier. And they told me you were quite rude during the interview. You told the interviewer that he was mentally slow, did you not? And then you claimed you were better than him, because of your new degree. Despite him having a master's.
What? He wasn't supposed to tell you that.
Of course he's going to tell me, I'm the president. Anyway, after your attitude towards him, my employees didn't seem too keen on working with you. And I can't have that sort of environment in my workplace, it reduces productivity. And I even found a few posts you made online bad-mouthing our company. which is against company policy.
Wait, you found those too? How did you get that? I didn't even use my real name for the account. You have no proof it was me.
It was kind of obvious, in my opinion. It wasn't your real name, but it was basically the same thing. You just added a few silent letters. And everything else on the profile was yours. Your birthday, your writing style, even the profile picture was a photo of you. I didn't need the name to figure out who was posting those things.
I didn't know you could find things like that.
Well, we have a special group in my company to handle social media networking and posts. They sometimes search for our company using hashtags or keywords just to see what sort of talk is going on. Most of my employees haven't seen your face yet, but they saw someone claiming they had an interview. So it wasn't too difficult to narrow it down, at least. They reported it to me after that so I could figure out which interviewee it was. And lo and behold, it was your picture. I think you're the only girl we interviewed recently, anyway.
Oh my God. But that's private. It shouldn't matter what I'm doing outside of work.
It's company policy, as I already said. We have a reputation to uphold.
You shouldn't be looking at social media at work anyway. Why would you have people with time to do that? Aren't you busy?
Keeping a good reputation with the public is important, especially with social media. Most companies nowadays have a group for this sort of thing. Not to mention spam and fake accounts are common recently. We need people to keep an eye out to make sure no one is spreading false information or faking their identity to hurt our company. People like you. Considering you're young and savvy, you should know more about this than me. I mean, you went to college, right?
Shut up. I can't believe this. Why did you find out? Why didn't any of it work?
You've been discovered. Your plan failed completely. This is all your fault, Wendy. You brought this upon yourself with your poor decisions. You looked down on me because you attended that fancy school. And because you were more attractive. You mistreated me, and you mistreated my employees. Not to mention, you lied to your brother. Your entire family has made mistakes.
No. We didn't mean to.
Sure, right. I'll be blunt, Richard is extremely displeased with all of you. In fact, he informed me that he doesn't want any contact with your family anymore. Especially you, Wendy. He's no longer interested in maintaining a relationship with your family. And we're planning to move closer to my family now.
Wait, what? He actually said that?
I suppose he's finally had enough of your behavior. You've been using him for far too long.
It's not my fault. I thought he needed someone better. After all, he went to college, and you didn't. It's not wrong to look down on someone for that, is it?
You don't have the right to decide what Richard wants or doesn't want. I graduated from high school, and that's sufficient. Grades aren't the only measure of a person. You treated me poorly and looked down on me for something so trivial. And then you tried to break us up, even though he was happy with me, proposed, and wanted to be with me forever. But that wasn't good enough for you.
Well, yes, but... Okay, fine. But what am I supposed to do now? Without his money, I can't do anything. You're going to ruin my life.
First, I suggest you stop mistreating the people in your life. Stop using Richard solely for his money. And stop belittling those who didn't follow the same life path as you. This is an opportunity for you to learn how to be independent. Find a way to earn your own money and learn how to budget. You can't rely on your brother indefinitely.
But how will I afford my things? I buy new clothes from my favorite brands every month. I can't just stop buying them. But I can't afford them on my own. You're the head of a company, you can spare some money, right? And we're going to be family, as you said. So why can't you help me?
It's not my responsibility to support you. Just because I have more money than you thought, it doesn't mean I'm obligated to support you. Especially after what you've done. Besides, I think you need to learn a lesson about honesty. You can't say whatever you want without consequences. Cutting off your allowance is a way to teach you about the real world, Wendy. You're fortunate it's me, most people might do worse.
But I want my things. Look, I'll stop. I'll admit to Richard that I was lying about the cheating. Even though he's already figured it out. I'll be really kind to you. I'll reduce my spending to only one item per month. I'll even delete my negative comments on my social media posts. I'll post positive ones instead. I can even help promote your company. So please, don't fire me or cut off my allowance. I really need them. I've learned my lesson and can change, I promise.
I don't need any of that from you.
Can I at least keep my job? You do need employees, right? I can't find another good job like this. What am I going to do?
That's a good question. I suppose you'll be without a job for a while, won't you? But, then again, you practically were already. This was your first job. And it's not much different from how you were living before.
Well, yes, I guess. Look, I've already posted a positive comment. And I've removed the old ones too. I've praised this workplace as the perfect place to work. I even said that the pay is sufficient for me to afford my high-end clothing. So you can see I'm sincere, right? You know how much this job means to me. I'll work really hard. Please let me stay.
I'm tired of talking with you. You're exhausting, no offense. But you just won't give up. All you've done is lie and try to make yourself seem better for just this moment. To get what you want. You're a good liar, I'll give you that. But I'm not falling for it anymore. You can say you'll work hard all you want. But I'm not sure if I believe that. Considering you've never worked before. And you didn't help around the house. And you'd start fights or insult my employees. Meaning you'd lower my productivity overall. I don't really see a good side of finishing the hiring process. Even if I let you stay, it wouldn't be long until you let your true colors show. And then I'd have to get rid of you regardless.
No, but I'm really good for the company, remember? I'll be a good worker, I swear. And I'm super smart and graduated university with good grades. I've dreamed of getting a job like this forever. I can't just let it slip through my fingers now. You need someone smart like me in the company.
I've already told you I don't care about university. Actually, my company doesn't even look at that, really. We don't value it too much when looking at potential employees. Mainly, we look at the person's attitude, work history, and their ambitions and motivation. Someone who actually wants to be at the company is going to work better. If we hired people based on degrees, we might get someone who only works for the money and might not be as efficient in the office. And of course, attitude, we need someone who will get along with the rest of the crew. I'm not a fan of workplace drama. So I don't care if you're smart or have a fancy degree. That doesn't really make any change to what I've decided.
Well, that's okay, too. Because I have a great personality too, right? I'm not just smart, I've got dreams.
OMG. You think so? With everything you've said to me, I don't think you do. Not anything that is suited for this job, anyway. You've never messaged me unless you wanted to threaten or insult me. And then even at the interview, you treated the hiring manager like an idiot. On top of that, you went on social media and tried to insult everyone anonymously. That doesn't seem like someone who has a good personality. Are you sure that's all you have to offer? I mean, you can have an attempt at changing my mind, if you wish. But I really don't think you'll be able to do anything. I don't think you have it in you to be nice to me. So is there any other reason I should keep you? Or can I go ahead and get rid of you already?
Please, no, wait. You don't need to fire me, I promise. Please, I can change. I really have learned my lesson, and I want to make it up to you. Just don't take away my contract and I can prove it. I'll apologize to you and Richard, and I'll fix everything. I'll even stand up for you in front of my mom and dad if you need me to. I'm begging you, I'll do anything.
I'm not changing my mind, sorry. The decision is final. Good luck with your job hunting. You'll have to start from scratch again, that's a shame. And companies will see you were dismissed immediately from here. Which won't help your case.
Please, Jennifer. Please don't do this. I'm begging you. Just hire me. That's all I ask. I'm sorry, I really am. I'll never do anything bad again. Please, Jennifer.
Following all that occurred, Richard no longer desired to communicate with his family. Consequently, he completely severed ties with them, including financial support. I owned my own house at the time, conveniently located near my parents' residence. He hastily packed his belongings and moved in with me. Since his family no longer had their ATM machine to exploit for money, they found themselves in financial distress, from what I've heard. They continued to overspend, which is hardly surprising. This led to them running out of money shortly after he departed. They all attempted to secure new employment and explore additional avenues for income. Neighbors reported hearing them engage in loud arguments and disputes late into the night on occasion. I also learned they borrowed a substantial sum of money from a friend for their shopping sprees. I doubt that arrangement will be sustainable for long. Their friends will likely wise up to their behavior before too long. Wendy had a challenging time finding new employment. Most employers recognized her immediate termination for inappropriate behavior. And she struggled to even secure an interview. She submitted applications everywhere she could. But no one was willing to hire her due to her lack of experience and poor track record. Consequently, she ended up in the same situation she started in. A dependent slacker, relying on her parents to cover her expenses. The only difference now is that she's no longer in school. Richard's parents discovered some of Wendy's online posts, as she failed to remove all of them. They became furious, and for some reason, they stormed into my company's office, causing a commotion. Since I wasn't present at the time, I had to hurry over to address the situation. I wanted to spare my staff the burden of dealing with it on their own, especially given that it was a personal matter. When they refused to leave, I called the police, and that finally persuaded them to desist. It seems they were apprehensive about the possibility of being arrested. It's been a few months since Richard and I tied the knot. Our wedding was truly splendid, and I'm savoring our time together. We had even more guests at the wedding than I anticipated. Of course, we omitted his family's side from the guest list. I had an incredibly enjoyable time. And that enjoyment continues. We've both made a commitment to support each other regardless of circumstances. And I eagerly anticipate spending my life with him.